Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Racing Breaks preview of the Ebor Festival going to take place at York. 4 days of cracking racing. I'm joined by our brand ambassador, Ruby. How are we, buddy? Good to see you.
Good bash yourself.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Ruby. Have you been? You'll be at York this week, I presume?
I will be in York, yeah. Obviously we were on before Goodwood. I wasn't there, but yeah, I will be in York going on Wednesday for ITV for the 4 days. So
Nice.
looking forward to a cracking race. And I mean, look at the size of the field in the Juddmonte. Incredible,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, it is. It is. It's actually my first time going to York, and I suppose quite a
Is
few of
it?
our customers who are joining us. So, is there any pub or bar we need to go to, or anywhere we definitely need to watch a race
Mm.
from, Ruby?
I think York is an incredible race course. I think it's unbelievable value.
Okay.
No, sorry, I'm going to correct myself there. Obviously, I have been in a fortunate enough position to be working in that I have never paid in, so I will not comment on the price of entry. I do believe there are enclosures for every rate, though, but
Yeah.
I cannot believe the value of food, drink, for a day out. I think it's incredible value compared to other race courses. So you will enjoy yourselves. Great town. It's a bit further a walk than people will tell you back into
Okay.
town. Oh, we'll walk in, yeah, you'll walk in all right, but it's a bit further than you actually think. But no,
It
I
doesn't
must say,
feel as long as you've had some winners, though, Ruby. But it's a
no,
long walk home if you've got no money in your pocket.
that's usually a help, all right, Bash. But look, I think it's a wonderful meeting, and I can't wait to go. Just hope we get some nice weather.
Yeah, that's the plan. So let's get some winners rocking and rolling. We're going to be looking at the group races over the 4 days. So the first one we will look at is the 225, the Tattersalls Acomb Stakes. It's Group 3, 2 years old, 2 year old only, 7 furlong. It's a tricky race here, Ruby. Minimal form to go on. Is there one that sticks out for you here? We've got a short price at the top of the market with Ruling Court. Would that be the one?
Yeah, yeah, ruling court. Obviously he was sold by Norman Williamson at the Breeze up sales. And he made an incredibly impressive debut at Sandown. William Buick rode him. He was 9-4 on. He dropped him in, pulled him out after he turned in, and away with him. He was just so impressive. He looks really good, but he's running into one that looked equally as good in the Line in Winter. The Line in Winter was the lesser fancy the two stablemates at the Curragh when he won his maiden in July on Oaks weekend. Ides of March was favoured. Curragh would have Paddy Toomey's to finish second, was really well fancied in that race as well. But when the penny dropped for the Line in Winter inside the furlong pole, he just took off and won well at the line. It's a big shout. Ruling Court, the Line in Winter. Um, oh, possibly Ruling Court.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? The money is coming for Ruling Court. Every time I see it, he seems to be shortening up a little bit more. The one that I thought had a bit of an each way chance you might be able to get four places is Diablo Rojo, 25 to 1. Decent on the timings, but I do think Ruby's right. The top two in the market will be clear. But if you're trying to look for a bit of
But
each way value, could be one.
when you look at it, obviously it's a Group Three. You had the Group One more race Sunday in Deauville over 6. Like this is as good a race for a Group Three in York on
Sure.
Wednesday, and I think like even whichever one loses here is not going to lose anything in defeat. These are two
True.
proper horses.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think that's just a reflection. The prize money is great. Hence why we've got some big fields. Although saying that, the next race we're going to look at is the 3 o'clock, the Voltigeur Stakes. So over 1 mile four. Unfortunately, we've only got 6 runners here. So if you're looking to back each way, just remember you'll only be getting those top two places. The market principle here is the Irish Derby winner, Los Angeles. Were you there at the Curragh that day when he won?
I was at the Curragh that day. He beat Sunway. He couldn't really do any more. He'd come from Epsom after finishing third behind City at Troy, of course. Sunway was second to him at the Curragh. Ambiente Friendly was back in third. I just thought he was always doing enough. He's not the flashiest horse in the world, but he's always held Illinois. When they met his 2 year olds at St. Cloud last October, Los Angeles under Christophe Soumillon beat Illinois, who Ryan Moore rode by a neck and 3 parts of a length with Stunning Peach splitting the two of them. So look, I think Los Angeles has just always been a superior horse to Illinois. Obviously, King's Gambit was unlucky at Ascot behind JRB, but has since come to York and been beaten by Alflela. Probably no shame in that. Passenger was back in third. I think he might have finished lame Passenger on that occasion, but I think King's Gambit has to improve to beat Los Angeles. Officially, there's only £2 between them, but I'd be siding with Los Angeles. I think he's still on the way up.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm going to fly the flag for King's Gambit here. The only thing I think the race last time he sort of led. They didn't go very quick, and I think the extra 2 furlongs here will suit 9 to 4. But it's a cracking race. It really is a cracking race. And talking of cracking races, the Juddmonte, the 3:35. What a race we have here. We've got obviously the Derby and the Coral Eclipse winner. We've got the Pretty Polly winner, the King Edward winner, the York Stakes winner. Some fantastic each way value as well. City of Troy, Ruby. Is he the big superstar? A lot of people say he is.
Um, he hasn't done anything wrong. City of Troy, well, bar the Guineas when he flopped completely, but he won Derby, didn't blow me away. He beat Ambi anti-friendly by 2 3 parts of a length. I don't think he stayed. I think he proved at the Curragh that he didn't stay.
Yeah.
And he then went and he won the Eclipse when he beat Al Rifa with Ghostwriter back in third. Again, didn't blow me away, but he got the job done. There's no doubt that he's entitled to be favourite, but I think there is value to take him on. And I thought the French horse Calandigan was impressive at Ascot. Now, I know that was 12 furlongs. It was a strongly run race. He came from off the pace to win, but he absolutely bolted up under Stefan Pasquier. And I do think it's interesting that they have decided to come back down 2 furlongs and trip with him and bring him here to the Juddmonte. Now, I suppose he's a little limited with some of the races he can go for being a gelding. And he is allowed to run in here. So he's taking his chances against the older horses, Calandigan. But I do think I prefer to be with him at 13 to 2 with the size of the field, 13 runners. I'm pretty sure there'll be a strong enough gallop, and I think it'll suit Calandigan. And I think if there is something to upset City of Troy, it could be him. Brilliant to have a Japanese runner as well, Doriza. Takes his chance. Christophe Lemaire rides him. Obviously, if Dockland's in there, big step for Group 1 for him, but I would be with Calandigan. I just think he's value against City of Troy.
For sure. He was basically at the back at Royal Ascot and flew home. The only question I have, Ruby, do you think Ambiente Friendly is one of these horses that travels so sweetly but doesn't find a lot, or does he just not stay?
I didn't think he stayed. I thought he
Okay.
quickened up and found plenty at the Curragh. He moved into a position down off the hill to go and challenge Los Angeles, got to him, and he made Los Angeles race. But I think he just got outstayed. I think 10 furlongs will suit him better. But yeah, look, he obviously beat Illinois in the Derby trial at Lingfield, but I just think that was a weaker race. And
Sure.
whatever way you look at it, horses can win over distances they don't really get if they're the best horse in a race. But when they get in against horses that are as good as them, then you really have to stay. And I don't think he stayed at the Curragh.
Yeah, for sure. One that I like at a big price is a horse called Maldoom. Ran a cracker last time out, second to notable speech in the Sussex Stakes. Had to switch, come round. You're getting about 25 to 1. Extra 2 furlongs could help, but I cannot wait to see that race. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
And you go back to arguably his best run was under Kieran Fallon in the James's Palace, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Behind Caribus, Blue Sail. Yes, it was
Yeah, I
that
think it
James's
was.
Palace. He's just been a horse that's been pretty injury prone. But to say that he's had 3 runs in 2024 bash means he looks like he's taking his training. And yeah, going a couple of extra furlongs might suit him.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. So we'll move on to the Thursday, day number 2. Just FYI, we do not know who is running at this stage because we are on Monday evening. But we kick things off in the Sky Bet Lowther Stakes for fillies Group 2, 150. The race goes off. It's a Group 2 to kick off day 2. Liavani currently heads the market 9 to 4 Ruby. If he reproduces his Royal Ascot form, he must go close.
I'd say she will, Bash.
She's
She was very good in the Queen Mary. Obviously, Heaven's Gate is the next thing in the betting. She won at Naas. She was third at Newmarket behind Arabian Dusk. Arabian Dusk probably ran disappointing in the Pre-Mornay the other day. And she was third to Fairy Godmother as well at Ascot. Liavani does set a good standard. I like Miss Lamy. I was against her at Naas when she beat Make Haste. She'd run she's formed to turn with Liavani from Ascot into Queen Mary. And you're thinking, well, why is she going to do that in the Lowther? It's pretty much the same sort of race. Similar sort of form. The Lowther is 6 furlongs though. The Queen Mary is 5. And I think that extra bit of distance would really suit Miss Lamy. She won over 5 at Naas, but she was coming home best at in Ascot, and I think she faded in Ascot. She was on the pace. It was more Lamb that doing the same colours that came flying home. But I do think 6 will suit Miss Lamy. So I'm going to go with her to turn over Liavani.
Interesting. I was hoping you were going to say Heaven's Gate is the one. I'm really impressed with her. She looked the winner at Royal Ascot. She in the Albany. She got collared late, but she won last time out nicely. I think the fact Aidan O'Brien's bringing her over, if she's declared, bringing her over, I think speaks volumes if she does show up here. But just a quick one, guys. We do have a chat feature. If you want to put any questions to Ruby or myself, just get them in the chat and we will get them answered. But we will move on to the 3:35 on the Thursday. It's the Potemps Network Yorkshire Oaks. It's another cracking Group 1. Can Content secure another Group 1 for the Aidan O'Brien team, Ruby?
I think she can. She was very unlucky at the Curragh behind You Got To Me. It was an incredibly slowly run race. She ended up at the back. They didn't go mad. She got no run, never got out, came home like a train. She, to me, was very unlucky. What's the opposition? Queen of Pride has been going the right way. The Gosden filly. But I don't know. It's the Group 1, like it's another step up for Queen of the Pride, and I think Emily Upjohn has been slightly regressive. So I am going to go with Content to turn You Got To Me around, and I'm going to side with her.
Yeah, nice. I'm in complete agreement. And obviously, I completely embarrassed myself with the weight allowance last time, but I'm sure she gets a £9 weight allowance being a 3-year-old. Am I right or am I wrong, Ruby?
£9 a little. Well, Emily Upjohn is 9'9", so Content is 9 stone. So
There we
with
go.
simple maths bash, I'd say you've got it right.
There we go. Well, I think that's huge, and I think a track like York will actually suit. And you're right; she had to keep waiting and waiting and waiting last time, and I think she will be unleashed at York in the Yorkshire Oaks and do the business. But let's go on to day number 3, the 2:25 Ruby. It is the Lonsdale Cup Stakes. It's a Group 2, 2 miles. Now, this is where all of our viewers and watchers can get some cracking inside information because Ruby is going to tell us how well Vauban is at home.
Yeah, he seems to be in good form, but he has to bounce back from a disappointing run behind Tower of London in the Curragh Cup. Now, Willie has been keen to get more racing into him because he had a very light winter after being to Melbourne. He had very few races, so he's very keen to get runs into him. He probably felt, even though it was 4 weeks, that after having such a hard race behind Kyprios in the Ascot Gold Cup, ordinarily Willie would like to have given him a bit longer between those 2 races. But I think he's improved since his run at the Curragh behind Tower of London in the International Curragh Cup, the Coma Group International Curragh Cup. And yeah, I'd say he's going the right way. Obviously, Gregory was an impressive horse last year, and he's probably still able to step forward. Night Sparkle ran well behind Turn of Endearment at Goodwood. Quick Turn, on a going day can put his best foot forward. But look, the favourite is obviously Point Lonsdale. He's a 5-year-old. And I don't know, does Point Lonsdale strike you, Bash, as a horse that wants 2 miles? He's obviously by Australia. He's out of sweepstake. Like maybe he'll stay, but you'd have to think he's sort of vulnerable at 2 miles. 2 miles. So I do think Vauban has stepped forward from the Curragh. So hopefully he can get his head back in front. He had a really good run behind Gia Valetto here early in the year over a mile 6 in the Yorkshire Cup. So the Lonsdale would be a nice race to win. Max Dynamite won it in the past. So it's an ideal stepping stone back towards Melbourne for Vauban, and hopefully get the job done.
I had a question with you about that because I presume the Melbourne Cup is sort of Vauban's main target of the season. Obviously he's ready to go for the Gold Cup and stuff like that, but is everything leading up to the Melbourne Cup? Like would he be like ready to strike now more today than what he was the Gold Cup, or does it not really work?
No, he was probably spot on in the Gold Cup. I mean,
Okay.
it's a Group 1 race. I mean, of course he was ready for the Gold Cup. Whether he had fully recovered and was ready the last day, hard to know. But I do think that with the break of over 4 weeks from the 20th of July to where we are now, I think that will have suited him. So it was a 34-day break from the Curragh to York, and I think that'll be pretty spot on.
Yeah, well, I'd love to see him do it. I'd love to see him do it. See Richie not watching the race. I'm not sure if he'll be there or not, but be great scenes. The next race we will look at on day number 3 is the 3 o'clock, the Al Basti El Equiworld Dubai Gimcrack Stakes. It's Group 2, 6 furlongs. Last time out, the Striking Viking looked forever like He was going to be the winner, but he got collared late on by Black Forza. Do you think he can go one better and get another win to his name?
He could. I'm fairly sure we put up Black
Black
Forza.
Forza. I think you
Did
did.
Yeah, we
I
did. It
think you
was
did. I didn't.
yeah, it was Michael O'Callaghan's horse, a good one. Yeah, we did. Do I think the Striking Viking can go closer? No, I think Camille Pizarro will beat him.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Camille Pizarro's form is rock solid. Obviously, Babouche beat Camille Pizarro at the Curragh 2 starts back, but Babouche then went and beat Whistlejacket in the Phoenix Stakes. Whistlejacket obviously won the Mornay. So I think Camille Pizarro's form is pretty solid. He has one disappointing run. That was at in the Coventry behind Rashbar. The second
Mm.
Arizona Blaze in the Curragh. He won at Navan. Yeah, I think Camille Pizarro will take down the Striking Viking and Aiden's 2-year-olds. Look, I guess whatever way you look at it, Whistlejacket is proven that they can take racing. So
Yeah.
I think Camille Pizarro for me, Shadow of Light, I think is really interesting too. Harry Bentley rode him at Newmarket there early in August when he won, and he beat Realign with Warhowl in third. So I would be with Camille Pizarro.
Okay, fair enough. The one I like is Shadow of Light. Charlie Appleby just strikes me as only a third run of the season. Just seems to be slowly getting there, improving each run. But 72 is a little bit skinny. But I think Shadow of Light can hopefully win that for the Godolphin team. The next race we'll look at the 3:35, the Coolmore Wootton Bassett Nunthorpe Stakes as a Group 1 over 5 furlong. Now, Ruby, I don't know about you, but this is the nap for me here.
What
Asphora
is it?
will win this.
You're asked for, are you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a rematch. Obviously, Asfora and Big Evs, two cracking horses. The rematch from Goodwood. Obviously, York, even as fast as York is, it's
Yeah.
not quite as fast as the downhill in Goodwood. But I'm going to go against the two of them. I'm going to go against the two of them. I don't think Living the Dreams has hit his straps this year. And Sean Curran is back on board. He rode him last year when he won the Nunthorpe. His gate speed last year was just a joy to behold. Now you're taking a chance. Now he's a 10-1 shot, so I don't mind sticking
Yeah.
him up. But if Living the Dream hits the gates like he did here last year, that gets out of the stalls as quick
Yeah.
as he did here last year, he'll take some following. So I'm going to go with Living the Dream to turn the two of them over.
Wow. Okay, well, I can't see Asphora being beaten here. Just beaten by Big Evs last time out, but has a nice weight pull in his favour this time. And I think Asphora can do it for the international runners. So we will move on to day 4, the last day. Hopefully we've got some nice winners and money in our pocket going into the final day. And the first race we will look at is the 150. It's a mile and 1 furlong. The Sky Bet Strensel Stakes. It's a Group 3. For me, Ruby, the standout form here is See the Fire, who pushed Opera Singer all the way in the Nassau Stakes. She appeals me here at 9-4.
Yeah, and I don't see why, or I wouldn't put you off that. With no way you would. See the Fire rating of 114. Task Force, I think Task Force is going the right direction too. A better run behind Lead Artist at Goodwood was disappointing in Ascot behind Hatem in the Jersey Stakes. Task Force a rating of 110. You also have Persica in there for Sean Levy and Richard Hannon with a rating of 110. My Prospero, the 5-year-old, he'll have to give them weight, but he's a rating of 113. I couldn't trust Mountain Bear. He was really stroppy at the Curragh. Like he's really good run in the jersey behind Hatem, but he was really stroppy at the Curragh behind Poet Master. I'm a second to Muta Saraf since Flight Plan when he's having a going day. He's a fair horse too. And the other one I thought maybe I could run all right. And why was it stuck in my head was Al Nayabi, who ran
Okay.
5th in the
Really?
James's Palace behind
Yeah.
Rosalian. And I think then went up to 10 furlongs at Newbury, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Newbury behind Phantom Flight. Ran well enough in the Guineas behind Notable Speech. Was
Yeah.
second last year in the Dewhurst, the City of Troy. Yeah, I think I'd be siding with Alan Abbey back down to 7 furlongs.
That's an interesting one. Anyone that follows Racing Breaks on our socials will see that when we were out for the Dubai World Cup, I interviewed Jim Crowley and he was so excited about Al Yanabi for this year, but just not quite done it. Just not quite done it. One a slight each way price is Emph Jar, just massively improving. Was unlucky last time. I think Jim Crowley could have that ride again. He might go a bit sooner, but it's a tricky race. I can't wait to see how it pans out. But the next race we will look at, and I think our penultimate race, is the 3 o'clock, the Sky Bet City of York Stakes. It's a Group 2 over 7 furlongs. There's a tricky race to call here, Ruby. If you were riding one out here, how far behind Audience would you sit? Do you give him the lead and stretch your own pace, or do you know what I mean? It's just such a tricky one to call.
Yeah, but you can't let him off.
No, exactly.
So you have to follow him. Simple as that. He will rock and roll, and you just have to try and get on his coattails. I actually think he will really suit Lord Masseuse's. And I think each
Okay.
way at a big price, Lord Masseuse's, like he obviously has to improve a little bit. Lord Masseuse, he's only rated 108, to get up anywhere near Audience's rating of 124. But I do think the way Audience will run, the race will suit Lord Masseuse's to nick a nice bit of prize money.
Fair enough, fair enough. I can't believe I'm saying it because I've never been a fan of the horse. Nothing personal against the horse. And even before, I think we spoke before Goodwood, I said Kinross is done, but for some reason I'm convincing myself that he can win this. I think looking at the race last time, he was the only one from off the pace that really managed to close on Audience, but around about 72. I don't know why. The gut is just telling me that Kinross will have another big day in the sun for me here, Ruby. Can you agree with me at all on that one, or are you still under the impression that the best days are
No,
behind?
definitely could be. And wouldn't disagree at all. And yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, like, there's no, I couldn't disagree with you.
Okay, fair enough. Now, the last race we will look at is, of course, the Ebor. It's 1 mile 6, nice and easy. Ruby, can you give us the 1, 2, 3 for this nice, easy, straightforward race, please?
The 1, 2, 3 for the Ebor.
Because some will end up having a couple of
Come
pounds
on,
of this.
Bash. Ask us all a difficult question there, will you?
So.
What would I think? Um, at a big price that can run in the money is Yashkin.
Okay.
Disappointed in the Northumberland plates. I'm going to forgive him that he didn't fancy the all weather, but I thought he at a huge price could sneak into the money anyway.
Mhm.
Whether that means he'll win the race or not, he probably won't, but he could sneak in the money. As regards the winner, I don't see how Queenstown is out of the first three. He's been asked huge tasks. I think he started the season off a mark of 82 up to 97, 105. That's all from running behind Kyprios, but he was having to drag Kyprios along as his pacemaker. So I think he will find it a bit easier in a handicap Queenstown. So Queenstown and Yashin being the two Irish horses to get in the shake up. And outside of him, what else can get in? I hadn't picked the third one, Bash. You've kind of stuck me to the
Okay.
spot here now.
Well,
I
I'll
had
give you
one
the
I
third one if
fancied
you
and a
want,
big one.
Ruby.
You go with the third one, yeah.
And you said that's the only two coming out of Ireland, but my mate Mozzie, for the National Hunt fans, I love this horse. I thought he ran a cracker at Royal Ascot, just didn't really get the rub of the green. He's obviously fit. He ran it over hurdles at Galway, didn't he?
He ran
Or
in the Galway hurdle behind
yeah, he
Nurburgring,
ran
yeah.
he ran in the Galway hurdle. He's fit as well. I'd love to see him place at least or go on better, but this is a real tricky race. If you find the winner, I take my hat off to you because this is tricky.
It is tricky, isn't it?
It is
Even
tricky.
the way
And
you
we
look
do
at them,
actually
like,
have a question that's come in about this, Ruby. Now,
yeah.
Tom Chappell would like to know, is there any chance we can see another Willie Mullins Ebor Cheltenham Festival double like we saw with Absurd last year?
Well, Hip Hop de Loire was placed in a maiden hurdle like all the way behind Jack Finbar. He looks like being Willie's sole runner. He's ex German horse. He was who trained him in Germany? I'm not sure. Marlena Stanislawanska. I'm afraid I do not know who that lady is, but could he be? I don't think so because a lot of joy. No, couldn't see her doing it. And I don't think he will either because, to be honest with you, I think you'd want to be winning the maiden hurl in Galway to suggest you were going to be. I suppose absurd got beaten in a novice hurl like Galway, but I always kind of think that first time up they should go and win, and he
Sure.
didn't manage to do that.
Okie dokie. No, listen, you've answered the question. And talking of questions,
I've tried to answer the question.
try to answer the question. Well, I appreciate it. We've got a couple more questions, Ruby. Aaron has asked if you could win any flat race What would it be, or what would it have been, and why? Any flat race.
Oh, any flat race. Any flat race. What would it be and why? The Arc.
The Arc. Interesting. Okay, interesting. You'll be at the Arc with Racing Breaks, I believe,
It
Ruby.
will be at the Arc of Racing Breaks. I look. Maybe it's the end of the season, but to me, it always seems to be the culmination of the best around. And
Sure.
I just think there's something about the Arc internationally. It's huge, huge.
Yeah.
Man, look, don't get me wrong, Bash. I'd love to have ridden any Group One winner on the flat, so I would. But no, I just think the Arc. There's something about it.
Fair enough. There you go. And if you would like to join us at the Arc, head over to racingbreaks.co.uk. We still have some spaces left to go. Wendy has asked, is there a particular 2-year-old who has impressed you the most this season?
I wouldn't say one 2-year-old, but I think the 2-year-old fillies, especially the ones in Ireland. Jarlines has two, Babouche and Red Leather, that look above average. Dermot Weld has another one for Juddmonte, who won on a Thursday night in Leopardstown a couple of weeks ago. I thought she looked really special as well. Obviously, then you have Fairy Godmother and the couple that Aidan has. I just think the 2-year-old fillies have looked really strong this year, and I think we'll have some cracking Group 1 2-year-old fillies races at the back end.
Sure. There was a very smart 2-year-old filly won at Haydock a couple Fridays ago, called She's Perfect, who looks very nice. Just one to keep in the tracker there, Ruby. Um, and we have got a question, a nice easy question from Dave. Can we put together an each way lucky 15 for the week?
And each way, lucky 15 for the week. Do you know what we'll do, Bash? We'll
Go
go
on.
two each then. How many lucky 15? Four, is it?
Four, yeah.
Four. Two each then. So each way, lucky 15
Do you
at a
want me to
pretty
kick
good
things off,
price.
Ruby?
Go on, Bash.
I will kick things off. I would say pick number one will come on Wednesday, and we'll go for Mal Doom in the 335, 25 to 1. Even if he can run into a place, you're looking at a get about 5 or 6 to 1 for a place. That would be a lovely start. And in the 445 on Wednesday, we haven't touched on the race, but there's a horse called Gutsy Girl for Charlie Fellows, 6 to 1. She's a lovely filly. I know Charlie thinks the world of her. So they would be my two for the each way lucky 15 that cannot be beaten. Ruby, take the floor.
Well, I'll go with two later in the week. I'll go with Living the Dream in the Nunthorpe.
Okay.
And I will go with Lord Masseuses on
Okay.
Saturday in the city of York.
Interesting. We've just had one more question come in, a cracking question from Greg. Of all the Cheltenham Festival winners you rode, which one would have had the best chance in the Ebor?
Which one would have the best chance in Ebor? Which one was fast enough? Which one of them would have been fast enough? Oh, Hurricane Fly.
Hurricane Fly. Okay, I was going to say Hurricane Fly for Heen.
No, not so sure. Faheen, real quick ground at York.
Yeah, but
Uh,
he just used to clatter every hurdle and just keep going.
yeah, but he bent his knee as well. I don't know. He'd have been pounding it now. By the time he turned out of the back straight there in York around into the home straight, might be thinking, "Oh, this would be quick for me." Um, so I'd have said Hurricane Fly.
Hurricane Fly is what a horse it was.
Oh,
Ruby, let's just
I went on her. I did win on her. Or Limini.
or Limini, interesting.
Limini, and she was probably better handicapped. Hurricane Fly had been running a Group 1. He might have been top weight in the Ebor.
Wow, there you go. But always thinking, I think you could probably bring him out of retirement and he'd still do a job, So let's see. But Ruby, let's just touch on any trips. You've mentioned you're coming to the art. Are you doing the Irish
Looking forward to
Champions
the. I
weekend?
am around for the Irish Champion Stakes. Think there's something. I think the guys have something lined up, or two gigs lined up actually. Dinner and a breakfast, I think, for the Irish Champions Festival. That's what it is now, isn't it?
Yeah, Irish Champions Festival, that's the one.
Yeah. What was wrong with Irish Champions Weekend? I'll never know. But hey,
There you go.
someone didn't think it was right, and yeah, looking forward to the Arc Bash. Really enjoyed it last year. Saturday's an entertaining day in Paris, but Sunday was an incredible day's racing. So I'm really looking forward to that in what is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Did you watch the marathon from the Olympics? It
I didn't.
was too early for you. I should have known you wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, there
It
you
was,
go.
but it was just how it showcased Paris was incredible.
Yeah, lovely city. I will be there at the Arc. And as I've said before, if any of you guys would like to come on any of our trips, both in the UK, Europe, international, head over to racingbreaks.com and you can find all the information and book through there or give us a call. But for everyone that's followed along tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope we can get some winners for you. Have the best time at York. If you see myself or Ruby, give us a shout. But best of luck. And Ruby, thanks for joining us and have a good evening.
Cheers, Bash.